Come on in to Sister's Tarot. Gather round, everyone. I have here my trusty magic 8-ball. Let's take a look inside, see what it has to show us today. Hello Taurus, this is a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, and North Node in Taurus. Take what resonates and leave out the rest. If you don't resonate with the reading, feel free to check out my other videos. You may have some messages there. Now without further ado, let's start the reading. Hope you had a good weekend and that your week so far is going well for you. We have 10 of Swords, Ace of Coins, Six of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and at the bottom of the deck we have 6 of Coins. Okay, we're going to start with the 10 of Swords. After a painful ending, and I'm picking up also maybe a possible betrayal in some way, you're about to come into your Ace of Coins. So after a long wait of you not receiving what's rightfully yours, you are about to receive it now. And it's going to be something that's going to make you quite happy, a wish fulfillment I'm picking up because of these stars right here on this card. So it's going to be something that you've been longing for and wished for some time now. So it's going to come in the way that you, maybe not the way you hoped for it to, but it's going to come in as far as what you wanted. Now we have the 6 of Swords, so you're about to move on to calmer waters after dealing with this 10 of Swords energy over here. And with these snails here, it might be slow going or slow process, but know that it's happening at the divine timing that it's meant to. So it's not, doesn't matter how slow of a pace it might be. It's the fact that you are moving on to calmer waters. And then we have the Queen of Wands. So you're very much standing in your power is what I'm getting from this. And that you're really taking things on in a passionate way. And you might even have a little companion by your side, whether it's a pet or just someone that you find to be a loyal companion to you. And is there for you whenever you need them. And of course you're there for them as well. Then we have the 6 of Coins. So you're about to have something that's going to be an equal give and take to you. And especially because I'm picking up because of how the other Taurus readings had come across, is what I'm picking up from this, that you finally learned to let go of something that was not meant for you because it was actually hurting you. It was a betrayal because it wasn't meant for you. And because you've learned your lesson on that and decided to move on from that situation, you're going to get your just reward. And you're going to have someone, is what I'm picking up. So this is not just about receiving financial type of rewards, but from a loving place is what I'm picking up. So you're going to get more of what you deserve, that someone's going to give you an equal give and take. So they're going to give just as much as you give. So it's not going to be someone who's just taking or leaves you out in the cold. This is going to be someone that's going to reciprocate what you put out. So this is going to be more of what you're meant to have. So I'm going to get what I'm getting overall. As I could pick up from the energy from this card here, this is what this was, and this card here, this is just picking up from the last 2 Taurus readings, that for those of you, you would know if this is your reading or not, whether you decided to go ahead and let go of something that was not meant for you, or stop holding on to something that wasn't even there to begin with. Take it how it resonates. And because of that, now you'll be able to come into this new person that's meant for you. And it might be a slow process coming in, but only because you need to give that love to yourself at this time. And then you'll attract what you deserve. Because the kind of love you give, if you give the love that you're looking for to yourself, you'll attract what you deserve. So this is going to be more of a deserving situation for you. And you won't feel this 10 of Swords energy with this new person. And always use your own discernment. So use your intuition and own discernment to know if this new person that you come into is the right person or not. Because it could still be somebody that might come into your, come around you just for God and the universe to test you to see if you've truly learned this lesson from here to only accept what you truly deserve and nothing less. So just, I'm picking up that's a warning for you. So be mindful of that and use your own discernment to make sure that it's not just a test from God or the universe, making sure that you truly learned your lesson and that you're truly ready for that right person that will give you the love you deserve. And that you first have to learn to give the love you deserve to yourself first, and that you've learned that so you can attract what you deserve, and it'll be a true equal give and take. But also I'm picking up that if you've been longing for your financial stability to pick up the way it's meant to, because it's been dragging is what I'm picking up, then this is also going to be for you. So it's going to, so whether you resonate with the love or the financial or a mixture of both, take it how it resonates. Now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the oracle and see what else is being shown. We have romance angels. So we're going to see what else, especially in the love sector, it has to show for you. I'm picking up, going to be quite happy with this new person that is meant for you. Again, once you know that it's definitely not just a test. Not everybody, I'm picking up, not everybody's going to get that, to have that test. But use your own discernment to make sure. If you want to make sure that it's truly for you. You'll know by the way that their actions, not just their words, but their actions show. If their words don't line up with their action, then that right there already should tell you that's a red flag to be careful and heed lightly. Then we have getting to know each other. As you reveal your innermost selves to each other, your bond deepens. So with this new love connection that's meant to come in, whether you've just come into meeting them or not, because everybody's on a different timeline. So you might have already learned the lessons, put the love into yourself and getting to know someone. And if you haven't, when you do come in to doing that part and putting the love into yourself first, when you do come into this new person, take the time to really get to know them. So that way not only your bond deepens, but truly get to know them fully. So that way, I'm picking up so you don't be fooled, is what I'm picking up from that. So getting to know each other as much as possible before going deeper into that. It's also picking up more from, I think, the last reading, to take that time to just get to know them more on a platonic side. And then get, just let it go gradually, like the snails. Just really take the time to get to know each other before going right deep into that dating and really take that in, because in the long run it'll be rewarding for you and the other person, for both of you, because it will be an equal give and take, and not rushing through things would be something that would be beneficial, because just like Rome wasn't built in a day, a relationship is not built in a day. So build it from a platonic place and then get to know the person, then go towards the dating, and then later on into a relationship, etc., etc. And that will really help your situation to where you won't have any more of this Ten of Swords type of energy. Because just as if it comes in like heat with strong, built on just strong passion, that flicker can go out just as fast as it came in. So you want to make sure that it's not just from a passionate, lustful place, and it's more from a true place that's not just superficial, for example, and it's something that will be lasting, and it's not just someone looking for a one-night stand, so to speak, or for instance. So getting to know someone, if they're in a rush to get things going, that right there should be a red flag too, because if someone is truly wanting more than just a one-night stand or things like that, they'll be okay taking things slowly. But if they're in a rush and then get aggravated, that in itself should be a red flag, that they're only looking for one thing. And that if you're not looking for that, then that should tell you you don't want that. Especially if you know you deserve better than that. Ask yourself, do I deserve better than this? Do I want better for myself? And if this person is wanting to rush, that tells you right there, that's the test that I'm talking about, that that's not the right person. Be sure that they want to go at the same pace that you do. Because if they're wanting a rush while you don't, that in itself should tell you something's not right. So, just putting that out there as a caution. Many of you might have already learned that lesson, but I'm picking up that I need to speak on that, because there could be people watching that has not learned that lesson yet. Learn to put on the brakes. You don't have to go at someone else's speed. If it's too fast, then something's not right. And you want to make sure, is this person really in for it for the right reasons and the same reasons that you are? And I'm not taking that, because that just kind of slid for me just talking. Anyway, that's the advice. Keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. And with that being said, that's another reason why you want to get to know each other. But as you're getting to know each other, keep an open mind. Don't have any expectations at all. Just be open to it, because they could be different. But here's the thing. It's a good thing that they could be different than what you're usually used to, because that means that someone that's different from your exes, for instance, would be better, because that means they're more likely not to be anything like them, to the point that they actually want something tangible with you, not just a fly-by-night, or just looking at you as on a surface level, and really wanting to get to know you in this way, like the getting to know you part. You want to make sure that it's someone who truly wants to get to know you, just as you want to get to know them. And just because they're different than what you're normally used to does not mean something's wrong with them. It just means they're different, which is a good thing, again, because if you're just having the same things you're used to, there's a good chance that you'll just repeat the same cycle again and still be on that hamster wheel going nowhere and just in a circle and repeating the same cycle. And the reason why that happens is because you haven't learned the lesson yet. So until you learn that lesson, you're going to still stay on that hamster wheel. So be open to something different than what you're normally used to, so that way you can have what you deserve. And that would be the best thing for you and this other person. I mean, it might be completely different night and day, which again would be a good thing, really, if you really look at it in that way. even if their personality is different than what you normally go for, don't close your mind to it, because they would be just the person you truly need. Don't be so quick to just brush them off because you might not think that their personality will click with yours, because it's different. Sometimes it's that balance that's needed that can help bring things together. So just putting that there. Give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. So see, some of you might already connected with this new person and might be feeling a bit like you're not sure about this person because they are different than what you're used to. And it's giving you a heads up. Use your own discernment, obviously, and pray and meditate on it. But give this relationship a chance. Say if it's just because they're different and have a different personality than you're used to, or different than, say, yours. Just because it's different than yours doesn't mean that they're not meant for you or a good person. Excuse that. Had a bit of a hiccup there. But give that chance. So for those of you that's already in this new relationship, or say just connecting on a platonic side, just like if you really took the advice that was given from the last reading or the last two readings, don't close it off and just dismiss it. And for those of you that still haven't come to this new yet, when this does come in, just because they have a different way of doing things or different personality than yours doesn't mean that they're not meant for you. Sometimes, again, it just is about balancing things. Sometimes you might have something that, let's say, if you take two people, each person can bring out something that's hidden within each other by having something that's different from you. Because if you have the exact same and there's something deep within you that hasn't come out yet the way it needs to, like that hidden diamond in you, if they were the exact same, they wouldn't be able to bring it out. So you'll be able to bring it out in each other by being, even if it's just a little bit different. You might be surprised how you might have more in common than you may think, but at the same time, there are some split differences for reasons to help pull out what's hidden in you that you don't even know you have hidden in you till you're with that right person to help bring it out and help you to blossom. And you can help each other blossom, because this is an equal give and take connection that I'm picking up on. Though again, use your own discernment. Make sure that it's not just another test to make sure this is the right person. And pray and meditate on it. And also, before I take this card, I'm also picking up, you might want to pray to God or your spiritual team, whatever have you, to make sure this is, to ask the right question of, how will I know if this is the right person? Give me the signs and what I need. But make sure you say this in a silent prayer when you pray something like this, so that there aren't any deceptions trying to come through. And then give it time, because it might not come in instantly. It might take some time, but keep your mind ears and eyes open, and not just your physical eyes, your spiritual eye, so that way you can discern what is really being shown to you, because sometimes it might not come in the form you may expect. More the times than not, it doesn't. It's in ways unexpected. So after praying and asking about that, wait and see what it shows you, so you'll know when this right person does come along. You'll know. So asking how you will know when that right person that's meant for you comes in. Ask for what kind to send you the right signs, and what it is, that type of let me give you an example. I'm feeling called to give an example. Say if you're wanting someone that will lead to marriage, for instance, and you pray and ask God, for instance, what is it that I'll know that it's something that's meant for me and that you sent, and not from even whether you believe in the devil or not, the devil or any dark force or anything for confusion or from the enemy in any way. And then let's say you give an example, you're given a sign of, you'll know by the person will be willing to wait until marriage, for instance. If they're not willing to wait, then you know it's not from God. If, say that's how God puts it to you. That's how you'll know. But I'm not saying that's how it'll necessarily be given to you or told to you. Just, that's an example. So, use your own discernment, pray and meditate on it. And you'll know by just asking those right questions. And then when you're shown or told. And use your own discernment and make sure that you might even want to fast on it to make sure where it's truly coming from. If it's truly coming from the divine or not. And then you'll know. And then we have, pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. And see, there's that right there where I was talking about. Make sure that you learn the lessons that you learned from this. Any red flags you learned from this is what you want to keep with you. Because that is what's going to help you moving forward when it comes to anybody else. Make sure that it's not someone that's rushing through or not emotionally unavailable, because they're emotionally unavailable, then more than likely it's because they have either commitment issues or they're struggling with something they need to work on and they're not ready for any sort of real relationship, for instance. And then pay attention if whether anything that you learned that betrayed you in the past, pay attention, that could be a red flag in the future with anybody else. So anything that's showing. Plus, I'm also getting something else from this to pay attention to the red flags. This is also about backing up about what I was saying when you pray and ask God or source, your divine, about what signs you need to know if this is the right person. So not only what you learn from your past experiences, take that with you moving forward, but also paying attention to any of the signs that show you this is or isn't the person for you. So pray, meditate, and use your own discernment. And at the bottom of the deck, we have unrequited love. There's not enough attraction and chemistry to keep this relationship going. Now, this is not talking about the new person. Let me make that clear. This is still talking about, because you don't want to end up in another one of these situations. The reason why you want to make sure you truly learned a lesson from that past situation. Because an equal give and take will not have someone that's in this energy. You want to make sure this person's truly wanting what you want. So keep that in mind. Don't lose those lessons that you learned, or you'll have to repeat the cycle all over again. So if you truly don't want to repeat all of that again, you have to show, not just say, but show God, universe, source, what have you, that you truly have learned these lessons from your past relationships in order to have what you truly deserve. So again, there's a good chance many of you will have that repeat just fall into place, just to make sure you truly learn those lessons from your past, and that you're not going to just fall back into the same rut you were in before having what you truly deserve. And then sometimes, also, is what I'm picking up, sometimes you're going to have that same repeat, because not only to make sure that you truly learned, but to show you that you have what it takes to walk away as soon as you see the red flags. So that you've learned to have power, standing it truly in your power, and not afraid to let go, and that you really have worked on your abandonment issues, because this seems to be following the last two readings. So make sure that you truly put that love in yourself, and that you're okay being by yourself until you have the right person, because it's better to be alone than have the same type of people that are in this energy that make you feel unwanted. And if you haven't worked through those abandonment issues, you're going to still keep attracting that, because it's like this energy that you put off that you're not aware of, and it'll just attract those kind of people. And until you learn to truly love yourself and be okay within your own company, you're not going to be able to get out of that same cycle. You have to show you truly are ready for this 6 of coins of an equal give and take type of relationship, and no more of this unrequited love. So, many of you that's watching this hasn't come into this new person. And some of you are, I'm picking up, it's going to be 2 different type of scenarios. You're either just coming out of that, the ones that truly, you'll know if this is not your message by if you're still working on letting this person go that was not good for you. This isn't your message. You might want to come back to this later though, once you have finally let that go. Now for the ones that have learned your lesson and let that go, this type of energy, you're going to be in 1 or 2 places at this time. 1, you're putting this love into yourself and learning to be okay by yourself and working through your abandonment issues. And then this is what you need to learn when you're going to come into this new person, and to watch for the red flags to make sure it's not just another lesson that's being thrown in there. And for those of you that have already done that work and you just entered into a new connection, not meaning relationship necessarily, because again, this is the getting to know each other. Make sure that the lessons you've learned from this is not going to end up in this here that you learned, with the pay attention to red flags and unrequited love that made you feel betrayed and abandoned in some way. So that way you don't end up in the same cycle after. Because once God or Source Divine has brought you out of it, they didn't help you get out of it just for you to put yourself back into the same scenario in a different situation. So make sure that you heed what you've learned and truly have the wisdom that you really show that you have wisdom now from this past, and that you truly learned the lessons. And take that pain you went through and learn how to turn it into wisdom that can help guide you and be your cleansing and healing source. And I'm also picking up with this right here, with this diamond ring. You truly learned this lesson. When this new person comes in, this could be the potential to be the right one for you to end up married with. Especially because I'm seeing the diamond ring on right here on her hand here too. Of course, it's on both hands, but I was pulled to this one. So you really learn these lessons. You can put yourself in alignment with the right person that is ready for marriage. So if you're really wanting, that's what you're looking for, first of all, stop just looking for it. Just let go of the outcome. And if you do what you're being guided to do, and really learn and use your own discernment and intuition and pray and meditate on the situation, and you truly learn those lessons, this could be the potential of putting you in the alignment with the right person that you're meant to marry, is what I'm picking up from this. And that's, for those of you that's looking, that want that, that's open to that sort of thing. I mean, obviously not everybody wants that. That's just for those of you that that's what they want. That's what they're looking for, is a life partner in marriage at some point. But just make sure you take the time and really, go at a good pace and don't just fly into everything. So I'm going to see what I'm getting overall before I close out this reading. I'm picking up one of the things, again, to pay attention to make sure it's not just coming from a place of just passion. Not saying there's anything wrong with passion, you just want to make sure it's not just about that. No matter how much passion that you and the other person might have, try to do your best to put on the brakes and take it slowly, so that way it doesn't burn out just as quick as it burns. You don't, and I'm also picking up, you don't want to burn the candle at both ends. So make sure that you really taking the time. That's another reason why you want to start from a platonic place if possible. So that way, so you can really get to know, I got that, I switched that. So you really want to get to know this person, keep an open mind at the same time. and really give it a chance. Just because they're different don't mean don't give it a chance. But make sure you always pay attention to those red flags, because somebody can present themselves as the right one. And that's another reason why you want to make sure that you really get to know this person, because just because they might start out coming across that way, if you give it enough time to truly get to know the person, you'll be able to know if there's any red flags or not. Not saying that you're expected to have someone, or expect someone to be perfect. Of course not, because no one's that. But it's just about making sure that it's not any sorts of real red flags. Someone that's not going to make you feel put out in the Five of Pentacles energy, or cheating, or any of that. You want to make sure it's somebody that's truly for you, and that's going to give you an equal give and take, and that you're not the one doing all the giving and they're just taking either. And if somebody comes across this way and acting like they're not interested, believe them. Don't just think they're just playing hard to get. Believe them. If they're really not wanting this, you'll know. Pray, meditate, and ask God if that's all that is. And you don't want someone that's just trying to play hard to get either, because that means they could be about games in some way too, is what I'm picking up to say on that. So make sure, there's always different scenarios why you could have this energy. And make sure you pray and ask why this is happening. But again, use your lessons and your discernment at the same time, so that way you don't have to repeat the same cycle, so you can finally move on to something new that's truly meant for you. But in the meantime, be okay being by yourself. Learn how to be your own company, and to love and embrace yourself, and unconditionally love yourself. Put all that into yourself, and even pamper yourself even. Love yourself. Instead of seeking out the love you want, go inward and bring it to yourself. And then that, once you learn how to do that, you'll start attracting what you truly deserve, as I have put out there with the other readings, for the other Taurus readings. With that being said, that's all that's getting from this reading. So I hope this helped you in some way and brought you some form of clarity. And be sure to turn on the notification bell so you know each time I upload a new video. And like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, God bless.